Adventures of Pinocchio. Once upon a time there lived an old man by the name of Geppetto. He was a woodcarver by trade. He was very poor and very, very lonely because he had no family. One day Geppetto picked out a fine piece of wood to make a table leg, and as he looked at it he sighed, "Oh, if I could only make a little puppet boy, how happy I would be. But it can't be done."
"And why not?"
asked a voice. Well, the old man looked around in amazement. There was no one in the room but himself. The voice had come from the piece of wood. Geppetto was so surprised that he dropped it.
"Ouch!"
cried the wood.
"Pick me up! Pick me up!"
But Geppetto picked it up. "You can talk," he cried. "You can talk. I will make a puppet boy of you and call you Pinocchio." So he set to work at once. His hands flew as he carved the hair and forehead and then the eyes. No sooner had he finished the eyes when they began to wink and blink at him. "What a lively boy," said Geppetto, and he started to make the nose. But Pinocchio was too impatient to sit still, and he squirmed about like a little boy in a barber shop, and he wound up with the longest, pointiest, funniest nose you ever did see. And then Geppetto worked on the mouth, and before he could even finish, Pinocchio started trying out his new tongue to see how far out it could go. "You bad boy," exclaimed Geppetto. "I've got a good notion to throw you into the fire and forget the whole thing." But Pinocchio looked up at him sadly, and Geppetto said he was only fooling. Well, then the old man made the chin and the body and the arms and hands and then the legs and feet. And before Geppetto could put his tools down, Pinocchio was up on his feet and out of the room and into the street. "Come back! Come back!" cried Geppetto. "You'll get lost!" But Pinocchio laughed and ran faster and faster. Geppetto ran to catch him, but Pinocchio ran still faster till he tripped himself up all in a heap. And there he lay, crying like all little boys when they fall. Well, Geppetto picked him up and carried him home. And do you know what we do to naughty boys who run away from home? We pull your little ears for you. And he reached out for Pinocchio's ears and started to laugh. "What's the joke?" asked Pinocchio. "I forgot to make your ears," Geppetto said. And he couldn't stop laughing. One day, Geppetto called Pinocchio to him and said, "I have a big surprise for you."
"What is it?"
asked Pinocchio.
"Is it skates or toys?"
"Oh, no such nonsense," said Geppetto, "but a spelling book. For today you are going to school."
"Ah, but I don't want to go to school," cried Pinocchio. "I just want to play and have a good time."
"Oh, but you must go to school," said Geppetto. "Do you want to be a wooden head all your life?" So off to school Pinocchio marched. Of course he took time out to dawdle and pick up stones and strings, but no sticks. He was touchy about all things that were wood. You remember, he was made of wood himself. Well, all of a sudden, he found himself in front of a theater. And what do you think was playing? A puppet show. "Oh-ho!" Pinocchio said. "School can wait for another day." "Oh, no, it can't," someone said. And he looked up and saw Jimmy, the talking cricket, who said, "Now, you listen to me. I've seen many boys stay away from school for some silly reason, and they always end up in trouble. And sorry, too."
"Ah, mind your business,"
said Pinocchio.
"No cricket is going to tell me what to do."
And Pinocchio walked up to the ticket window.
"One ticket, please."
"Oh, just a minute, my little man," said the ticket seller. "Have you got a dime?" "Oh, no," said Pinocchio, who was poor and never had 10 cents all at one time. But he could sell his spelling book. So he shouted,
"Who wants to buy my spelling book?" no one paid any attention to him except the cricket, who said, "You're gonna be sorry." But at last an old peddler came along and bought the spelling book, and Pinocchio rushed into the puppet show. What a wonderful sight! A stage, music, lights, and puppets. All with strings, though. Well, they were in the middle of the Punch and Judy act, and Pinocchio couldn't sit still. He ran onto the stage and began to sing and dance as no puppet had ever done before. But the owner of the show, a giant of a man with a long black beard down to his knees, ran out onto the stage roaring, "What are you doing to my show? Get out! Get out!" But the audience shouted with delight at the sight of a puppet without strings, prancing and dancing like a real boy. "Hurrah for Pinocchio!" they cheered. Well, the giant man was well pleased when he heard this, and even gave Pinocchio a gold piece for being such a good actor. Pinocchio was so happy at his good luck, and he started home to Geppetto. We are rich, he kept saying over and over again. Pinocchio, holding his gold coin tightly in his little hand, hadn't gone very far when he was stopped by two strange-looking beggars, the foul fox and the crooked cat. Well, the fox had a lame leg, and the cat was blind. They were helping each other along the road. "Good day," said the fox. "Good day indeed," said Pinocchio. "You'll never guess what I have in my hand." "Why, it must be a marble," said the fox. "Don't be silly," said Pinocchio. "It's a gold coin." "I don't believe it," said the cat. "Well, I'll show it to you," said Pinocchio, and he shoved the coin under the blind cat's nose. And guess what? The cat's eyes opened up like two green lights. "I thought you were blind," said Pinocchio. "So I am," said the cat, and he closed his eyes quickly. And now the lame fox reached for the coin with his lame paw, but missed. "And I thought you were lame," said Pinocchio. And so I am," said the fox, and he pulled back his paw. What are you going to do with a gold piece?" they both asked Pinocchio. "I'm giving it to my father so he can buy me new books for school." "School? Bash!" said the cat. "That's how I got blind, from reading too many books." Yes," said the fox. "That's a foolish way to spend money. If you really want to help your poor old father, we will show you how to bring him hundreds of gold coins." "How's that?" asked Pinocchio. "Well, very simple, my dear Pinocchio. We will take you to the magic field where you can plant your gold coin, and overnight a tree will grow with hundreds of gold coins. And all you have to do is pick them from the branches. Then you will be rich indeed." Well, Pinocchio was always one to make up his mind in a hurry, the wrong way. "Well, what are we waiting for?" he cried. So they planted the gold coin, and Pinocchio ran home to tell Geppetto the good news. Geppetto was glad to see Pinocchio. "Where have you been, Pinocchio? You are so late. Have you been to school?" "Yes," lied Pinocchio, and his nose grew 6 inches. His nose always grew longer when he lied. "And your book?" asked the old man. I lost it," lied Pinocchio, and his nose shot out another 6 inches, so that he grew frightened and told Geppetto the whole truth. "My poor boy," said Geppetto, "you've been swindled by the foul fox and the crooked cat. They went back to the field after you left and dug up your gold coin. But that will teach you a lesson, never to play when you should be in school." And Geppetto put Pinocchio to bed without any supper. Pinocchio was off to school again when he met his friend Wicky. "Where are you going?" asked Wicky. "Why, to school, of course," said Pinocchio. "Ah, you poor fool," said Wicky. "Take it from me, school is no place for a boy like you who likes to have fun. I know of a much better place than school." "What's that?" asked Pinocchio, and then Wiki whispered, "It's the land of the boobies." "Why, I never heard of the place," said Pinocchio. "Well, I'll tell you all about it," said Wiki. "There's no school on Thursday, and there's 6 Thursdays and 1 Sunday in every week." "Gee, sounds good to me," said Pinocchio. "How do you get to this place?" "Ah, coachman is calling for me," said Wiki. And just then, a large coach came along, pulled by 12 donkeys, and the coachman, who said, "Come along now, boys, to the wonderful land of the boobies." Well, Wiki and Pinocchio found room on top of the coach, and together with the other little boobies, they yelled, "Down with school and everything!" Finally, they reached the land of the boobies. It was everything Wiki said it was. The streets were filled with screaming boys doing anything they pleased, fighting, breaking windows, setting fires, and all the rest of the don'ts. Pinocchio and Wiki were soon in the middle of things. In fact, when they gave the prize for the day, it was Pinocchio who won the booby prize. One of the strange things about this place was the large number of donkeys who roamed the streets looking very sad. Well, this didn't bother Pinocchio till one morning he woke up and scratched his head to feel a fuzzy donkey ear where there had been no ear before. He ran to the mirror and looked at himself, but all he saw was a donkey. He ran to the coachman and cried, "Take me home! Take me home!" But the coachman laughed and said, "You don't want to go home now. You're a donkey. I will take you to the market and sell you like I do all the other little boobies." And so he did. The peddler who bought Pinocchio put him to work pulling a heavy cart. One day they passed Geppetto's old house, and Pinocchio cried out, "Papa! Papa, save me!" And Geppetto, recognizing his voice, said, "Pinocchio! My poor boy, what has happened to you?" So Pinocchio told the whole story, and he was so really and truly sorry for all that he had done that the blue fairy came and with a wave of her magic wand made him into a real live boy. And from that day on, Pinocchio went to school, helped his father, stayed out of mischief, and told nothing but the truth, which is what makes Pinocchio such a wonderful fairy tale.